If, like me, you've ever had a horrible neighbour, you're going to be able to relate to everyone in this video.
Excuse me, is this your car? Yeah, you've been parked there all day.
Oh yeah, this morning I was rushing, I had to get to work, so it was the best I could do, mate.
So you're not parked down there, the pay and display?
Oh, have you seen the prices? I pay my taxes, I'm not giving
Oh,
the
yeah,
council all my money.
I went to go to work this morning, I couldn't get out because you're blocking my drive, so I had to pay for a taxi to get to work. I come home and you're still here.
But did you get to work?
Yeah, but that's not the point. I had to pay to get a taxi to work and back again, and your car's still blocking my driveway.
Yeah, but hang on a minute, could you have not just managed to get out?
Are you having a laugh? You're blocking half my drive.
I could manage it.
You can manage that. You couldn't fit a bike through there.
Is this what you like with your wife?
It's not what I'm like. No, I'm trying to get out of my house.
Okay, so I feel like this is fake, but it definitely does happen.
Are you going to move it?
No, I'm going to go to the pub.
You're not. Oh, you can move the car.
Well, yeah, by the sounds of it, you spend a lot of time at the pub the way you're acting.
You don't tell me what to do.
You don't block me driveway.
It's actually not illegal. Oh, forget it, you're being so petty.
Oh, I'm trying to get out of my house. I've got every right to go out of my house.
No, you just said you come back from work.
Yeah, I come out and I've still come out to go to the shops and you're still here.
Oh, you're just making that up, aren't you?
No, so you're going to block me drive all day, are you, when you're going to move it?
Oh, forget it.
Oh, you forget it. Move your
Yeah,
car.
just trot off.
Oh, move your car.
I feel like that video is definitely one of them fake videos or it's a recreation. However, it does actually happen. There's been quite a few times where people have parked in front of my driveway and then it means we can't get out. Is it illegal to block a driveway in England? It is in the US. They call a tow truck and they make the vehicle owner pay a lot to get their car back. Honestly, it probably is a rule in England. However, like, it shouldn't need to be a rule. Everybody should know not to block a driveway. Unless you live in that house and you know no one's going to be leaving. This has to be a skit. It can't be real. It's either a fake video or a recreation. However, it does actually happen, and I know because it's happened to me before.
Hey, we got a call that some kids are screaming, so we're just making sure that everything's okay.
Yeah.
I don't hear anything now, so just...
No, our neighbors have called the cops on us a few times. We have a trampoline in the backyard. That's that.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
Everybody's all good, though?
Yeah.
All right.
Kids look pretty happy to me.
Have a good
All
night.
right, thank you. Sorry you're out here for this.
Oh, not a problem. What we do?
All right, see ya.
Sir.
Say bye.
It seems like they're pretty used to the police turning up to their house because of their neighbours. And I'm gonna guess this screaming that the neighbours apparently heard is the kids having fun in the back garden. No kid should be screeching. Teach them it's not needed unless it's an emergency and they're in danger. I can tell you right now that the kids most likely were not screeching. They were probably screaming because they were happy. They're having fun, they're kids. I just can't stand it online whenever I see videos of adults just wanting to ruin kids' fun. Now, if the kids are screaming at like 5 AM or like 11 PM, which is very, very unlikely, I could understand why you might be annoyed. However, they're having fun. If you don't like it, tough. You were a kid at one point, I bet your neighbours didn't want to put up with you, but they had to. Have you ever talked to them about it to ask what their problem is? Just curious, because I know some people are raised to believe it's wrong to scream, word trauma, etc. Some understanding might help. Just because they're raised that way doesn't mean that they're correct. I'm gonna guess that maybe the neighbours are slightly older and in their opinion kids should be seen and not heard, which, you know, in my opinion is wrong. I think it's amazing if kids, you know, express their emotions. Now, I definitely do believe there is a line that they shouldn't pass. They probably haven't passed it. That neighbour's probably waited for one small scream of delight just so that they can call the police. And then yet again, calling the police and young kids, like, that is just a step too far. Am I the only one concerned that they didn't check out the situation a little better? Because it wasn't the first time of the same next door neighbour calling the cops. They have a history. Yeah, so the police probably know exactly what's going on, like, hey, the kids are having fun and the neighbour's angry about it. Why don't you call the police back on the neighbour? They're wasting police time, you know, why aren't they getting charged for that? The kids are quite clearly happy and healthy, so what's the big issue?
3.
Okay.
Like, I don't know how many times I have to come over and tell you guys to stop really, like, stomping. It was 9 AM on a Sunday morning.
9
I'm
AM.
trying to sleep, I'm trying to get some rest, I'm working a lot, and you guys really, like, come on.
We were just getting ready for church. We're not like...
I understand, everybody else is getting ready for other things too, but they're not, like, jumping.
We're not jumping, we're just walking
Well,
around.
it sounds like you are, I don't know. Whatever you're doing, stop, please. It's really annoying.
Well, I think that it's just the, like, about apartment living. I think
You
it's
can't
just
expect
like
people
how...
to put their lives in
else
pause
do
for
that.
you.
Well, because
It's
we're
only
right
you.
above
It's
9
you.
AM.
Of course you
Yeah,
don't hear anybody...
I've lived in a million different apartments, never had that kind of problem, but I'm having that problem with you. So what is it?
Well, this is a...
Do you guys hear your
Maybe
neighbors
you're in a
well?
cheap
I bet you
apartment,
don't.
I don't
I
know.
do.
spoke with them.
What? That's how it is in apartment living.
And clearly it's not getting to you. All I'm
Maybe you
asking
should move
for
to the... Maybe you should move to the
maybe
fourth
you
floor.
shouldn't tell me what to do, huh?
Oh, he's getting aggressive, isn't he?
Did you guys hear that?
As someone who works night shifts, I can understand why he might be annoyed that his neighbours are a little loud. However, if you work a lot and you want to get a nap, you have to deal with the fact that you live in a building with a bunch of other people. There's been times at 9 AM where I'm trying to get to sleep and there's literal motorcycles zooming past my house. Now, do I go out for a tantrum at them because they're riding a motorcycle? No. It's part of the job. If you work during the night and sleep during the day, you have to deal with the fact that 90% of the population is going to be awake and around the world. You can't expect everyone to put their life in pause for you. I'm in his side, don't wear shoes in your apartment. Why are you telling someone what to do in their apartment? If they're walking around their apartment with their shoes on, they're allowed to do that. Now, if they're dancing and being a nuisance, that's different. However, I feel like that's not what's happening. 9 AM, bro, I could maybe understand 7 AM, but 9 AM is ridiculous. 7 AM is the typical time that people are up and awake. You know, most people are out of their house by 7 AM. Literally, like, people start work at 6 AM, they have to be up by 5 or 4. And if you're struggling to live in an apartment, move out of the apartment, put earplugs in. There's many alternatives to help yourself, rather than going and screaming at your neighbours. People literally don't understand this part of apartment living. Like, people are going to make noise as long as it's respectful. I don't see the issues, especially in these older buildings with someone walking around. I feel like he just wants her to walk around in her tippy toes, which, you know, isn't gonna happen. I also seen in the comment section people are recommending her put carpets down. She probably has that already. You can't expect her to walk around in her tippy toes and walk like a ghost. Like, she's gonna make noise, and it's at 9 AM. Like, that's a reasonable time.
Continuing the saga that all of my neighbors are cunts and bat crazy, the woman down the hall from me threw out $1,000 worth of my diabetes supplies and then said it was my fault. So let's rewind to last week.
No, that's dangerous.
So I got a package from a different company, and they're pretty cool. They're like, if you take your stuff out, leave it the box on your front door or apartment doormat, then they will go and recycle it because they reuse the box. And I was like, sick. And they said it's within 3 hours, so you just have to let us know. So I was like, okay, so it's a medium-sized box. I thought it would be fine just in front of my front door. Went to go run errands for 5 or 6 hours, and when I got back, the package was gone. However, I had a note on my front door. Now, I knew it was from the lady down the hall because she's a nosy and has left other notes on other people's doors, just not mine. And it basically said, this belongs in the recycling. If I see another package or box at your front door, I will throw it away. And I was like, made me a little nervous because I get medical supplies directly to my front door, but I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just ignoring it. Anyway, 2 days later, I was in the elevator and I had headphones in, and I realized she had gotten in with me. She taps my shoulder and goes, hey, I hope you saw my note. I'm being serious. It looks ugly to have packages in our hallway. And I was like, it wasn't that big.
It's
and
a
also
hallway.
it was there for like 3 hours. Not like I was having it sit there for like a week. Anyway, I explained to her, I said, please don't throw anything away that you see there. I have diabetes supplies all the time. And she's like, and she just doesn't say anything. Anyway, then like a couple of days after that, I was gone, but I got the notification that I got my diabetes supplies like delivered, and they sent a picture on it. And I was like, okay, so I go home, but the box is not at my front door where the picture says it's supposed to be. And so I start freaking out, and then I remember what she had said. So I go knock on her door, and I'm like, hey, do you have the box? Like, did you move it or anything? And she was like, yeah, I had the box. What did I tell you about recycling? And I was like, that was not recycling. That was a full taped box that had my medical supplies in it. Like, what do you mean? She's like, it was empty. I felt it. And I was like, that
Obviously
was not
not,
empty.
no.
That had over like 2 or 3 months worth of medical supplies. What the hell, lady? And she's like, well, that's your own fault. I told you what I was gonna do, and I'm
It's
like,
not your job to
you're
do that.
crazy.
Like, there's something
So I
wrong
go
with
down to
her.
my management team. I'm like, you need to talk to her because she needs to like pay for that. Like, that's $1,000 of medical supplies.
Yeah, she needs to reimburse you.
That like I don't know if my insurance will cover again. So they go and talk to her, and then she lies. She's like, oh no, I didn't do that. And I'm like, you told me. And because there's no cameras in our hall, well, Evan, let me rephrase that. There are, but they're not working. I can't do anything. And now this is just being a mega. So I have now left just a random box on my front door for the last 4 days because if she thinks I'm not petty, then she's mistaken. Sorry, I just had to rant about that.
I wouldn't call that a rant. I'd say that's a pretty serious situation to be in. First of all, this lady apparently sits in her house 24/7 and spies on the neighbours. That's weird. And then she's decided that she's going to be the corridor manager, making sure that the corridor's nice and clean and boxes aren't left outside. And then ends up throwing out your medication. This isn't her like throwing out an Amazon order. This is medication. This is stuff that keeps you alive. That is like serious. So she stole $1,000 worth of product from your door, called the cops. Not just product, medication for her diabetes. Diabetes is one of them things that you don't don't want to mess around with. And then yet again, if she's stolen it and disposed of it, someone's gonna have to pay for it. You shouldn't have to pay for that. The company shouldn't have to pay for that. The insurance shouldn't have to pay for that. She should. She might have to retire from eavesdropping in her neighbours and finally get a job. Call the police at your lifeline. I'm tempted. Don't be tempted, do it. She is doing things that she does not need to be doing, and she's nicking your medication. Neighbour called cops because I was ... walking. My neighbours genuinely suck. They're all loud. They have no regards for neighbours. But this one ... I just what? I've been trying to lose weight, so I don't have any junk food in the house. If I want junk food, I have to walk to go get it. It's been working. Around 9 p.m. last night, I had a craving for nachos, so I started walking. On the walk back with warm nachos in my hand, I had a police officer pull up next to me. One of my neighbours had called in a suspicious person. They'd called in a few other times with the same description of the person, including security video of me that shows my tattoos. I was deemed suspicious by the neighbour because I wasn't looking at my phone walking a dog or walking with other people. Okay, so apparently somebody walking down the street is now deemed as suspicious. The only person who seems a bit suspicious is this neighbour. I've lived in the neighbourhood for 6 years. I stick to the sidewalk. I'm literally just walking off my outer fat person to feed my inner fat person. Apparently I can't do that without being suspicious. Am I supposed to stare at my phone, burn my reactive dog, and sing show tunes while I walk? I need my address printed on a shirt saying I effing live here. The only thing that needs to be done is that person getting a job. And then yet again they see one person walking down the street and call the police. Now, I don't know if this person is kooky, but it's starting to feel like they are. Who calls the police over that? Next time you get a craving, go knock on their door and tell them, hey, I have a craving for nachos, and since walking by myself is evidently a suspicious activity, I thought I'd see if you want to take a walk with me. See, that's all fun and games until they pull out a gun and shoot you. If they're reporting you to the police and you're suspicious for walking down your street, the last thing you should be doing is going to their door. You won't be getting them nachos. The only thing you'll be getting is a bullet in your chest. I'm at an a-hole for being active early in the morning and disturbing my neighbours. I'm a single dad living in a semi-detached house. My toddler loves sleeping in and I love sleeping. I prefer late nights and late mornings. Then I had a new neighbour several months ago. They too have a toddler who constantly cries throughout the night, but it happens. Not every toddler is the same. But the man often works on call and is up throughout the night, which means I'm waking up every time he goes to work. The woman has a 7 a.m. alarm and it snoozes for 5 minutes until 7:30. And on the weekends they are up at 8 a.m. loudly talking and playing with their kid. Thankfully my kids sleep through it, but after months of this I'm now an early bird. I go to bed early and I'm awake early. So now I start the day at 7 a.m. every day including weekends. I'm up and down the stairs getting stuff ready for school. I'm cleaning out the rabbit's cage. Whatever I need to do I do. I'm not going out of my way to be loud, just doing what I used to do later in the morning sooner. Of course I now have a problem with this because on the days the man has to sleep in because he was on call, he can't because I'm awake. The woman in her days off is now being woken up at 7 a.m. and so now can't exactly snooze. And on the weekends when they decide to sleep in after a night out and hungover, I'm up and down the stairs. They asked me to not start my day so early, I'm waking them up. I told them it's really their fault. Before they moved in I'd be waking up much later, but the alarms and loudness conditioned me to wake up early. Told them I tried speaking to them about it and was told they can't help it. So am I really the a-hole for something they practically created? I would say you're not. Theoretically you had to adjust your life around theirs due to them being up early with the kids and everything. So why should you feel guilty about that? No, they're the one who got you up early, so it's nobody's fault but their own. Not the a-hole. If you spoke to them about being noisy and they dismissed you, it is hypocritical of them to complain about your noise now. The way they were making it out, you would have thought they were being woken up at 4 or 5 a.m. It's 7 a.m. Maybe because I work night shift and my sleeping schedule is completely different to everybody else's. I thought the typical person was up by about 6 or 7 a.m. every morning, whether they were working or not. But by the way some of these posts are going, I'm now thinking I could be wrong. Crazy neighbours confront kids in their own garage over being flipped off.
Oh, why are you coming at me? Oh, look.
Ooh.
Don't touch me!
She looked like an alien that's crawled on the earth.
Don't touch me!
You flip me off again, I don't give a how old you are. I'll send my
Hey,
son
you
over
flipped us
here.
off.
We're little kids. You flipped us off, man.
No, we
Don't kill me in our house.
You're little kids,
You
then
are
you have
wrong.
enough sense to know, don't you?
Where are your parents?
Where are your parents?
I know they're not here. Because y'all wouldn't act like this. Where's your parents?
Oh, what?
Where are your parents?
See, exactly.
Have they broken into their garage? This is crazy.
Where are
You
your
have enough
parents?
sense to know that.
I didn't do anything.
Yes, it was you.
Yes, you
No,
did.
I did not.
It was
flip
you.
me
When
off.
was this?
Last week, you and the guy from down the street
You know what? You
on the
don't-
I don't hang out with
skateboard.
anybody
I
on the
know.
street.
Yes, you do.
Oh God, I don't. I literally don't.
I know you're taking
I don't blame them for flipping you off if you're acting like
where's
that.
your parents?
I am because I don't feel safe with you touching me.
You know what?
You were touching me.
I don't feel safe with you being outside, running around while we're trying to come into the door.
Why are you
Just having
trying to?
fun.
You little juvenile.
Y'all are
delinquents
juveniles.
is What you are.
Oh, what?
Okay.
I mean, well, yous are the one who literally are trespassing and broke into their, you know, house.
We got you too.
And you know what?
Bro.
You just filmed flipping us off.
Oh, did you just do that again?
I know. I did a peace sign. That's what.
Oh, okay.
That's what you just did, right?
That's a gang sign.
That's a peace sign.
Don't think it's a gang sign.
Let's see if it. Oh, look, it works. It's not broken.
I never had that.
Yeah, we're part of the game.
Oh my god, her pupils. That is insane.
No, you know what? I was going to come here today and I decided not to, but I will come tomorrow. Where are your parents?
Where are your parents?
We know. They're not
Eyelashes.
here, dude. Where are they?
This is my house.
It's your house.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't do
he's
anything.
got all the, his Asian people here.
Hey!
No.
Flip us off, and it's okay.
Why are you
right?
flipping us off? Come on, man.
Trust me.
You don't gotta be
filmed
racist,
too.
though.
And you were filmed being flipping us off. So you're that.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me why they were flipping you off. Look at the way you're acting.
What the?
She is crazy.
We're not.
She's a
We're just
nutcase.
standing
Let
here.
me tell you, no. You came and asked the other night, wasn't you?
Yo, call the police, bro.
Him? Not him.
Should I call the police?
You
Again, I don't.
Past is off now. Now you have your little thing. Guess what? We saw your little past
what?
flipping us off.
Should I call the police?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, call the police.
I have no idea what we just watched, but she reminds me of an alien that snuck onto Earth to try to resemble a human. This is what living off Xanax, cahardinate, and Botox injections does to you. I don't know what that middle one is, but all I'm gonna say is that the pupils were wide, the face was frozen, and she was acting cuckoo. Well, anyways, guys, let's relieve our video there. That's some crazy neighbours. And trust me, these neighbours were very insane. If you see me looking more insane neighbours, let me know, definitely will. Press bigger, subscribe, and see you all tomorrow for another video.